So we're going to find out whether or not this clicker works in a split second time. Hi everybody, my name's Güneş. I go by my middle name. The first name is pronounced Özlem, for those of you who are dying to know. So the first question I normally get asked immediately after I say, hi, my name's Güneş, is, oh, where are you from? So this is my answer, because I'm a scientist. 84% from West Asia and North Africa. I'm only 13.4% European, and a surprise to myself and my mother included was 1.3% East Asian, apparently. So I have to confess this wasn't an entire surprise when my mum and I both did 23andMe and sold out entirely. Because of course I should hopefully know that my heritage is from the Middle East and from Turkey specifically, and I know that because something that a lot of people can't tell when they meet me, because you generally can't tell when you meet someone, is the fact that my mum's actually a political refugee from Turkey. So this is a picture of me and my mum. That's me, 5 years old. Great gel. And yes, so my mother fled Turkey in the 1980s via Greece and landed up in Germany, where she had me. So yeah, I'm a political refugee. There we go, I'm back. And some years later, I discovered science. So this is me on my 8th birthday. And for any of you else know, those are not dreadlocks, I just hadn't discovered hairbrushes. And I kind of hope the resolution isn't great, because it wasn't back in the day, but I'm not sure if any of you can see that. That's a video scope. That's like a microscope for kids so they don't break shit, basically. So come to the screen. And that's like one of the first pictures that I have of me loving science. I was brought up in an artsy family, but my mum and my stepdad always supported many things, so I was exposed to things like this as well. And so obviously, as my first slide said, I work here at the Crick, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I ended up being a scientist. I hope you're interested to know. This is a super nerdy picture of me, the first time I ever did a lab placement. So this is me at 15, rocking the nerdiest 90s glasses known to mankind. But this was my first ever lab placement. And interestingly enough, and I'm very lucky to have had this opportunity, my mum actually ended up taking me back to Turkey for a little while when I was 15, because my grandmother still lived there and she was unwell and stuff. And luckily, Turkey's a little bit of a Wild West situation, so they let 15-year-olds do this kind of stuff there. It was and I totally made hay while the sun was shining. So that's me doing my first ever genomic DNA extraction, which was great. And so I ended up spending 3 months in this lab and just loving it, absolutely loving it. And at 15, I said to my mom, yeah, I think I want to be a scientist. I want that guy's job. And she was like, okay, fine. But I was at an international school. They didn't let me do the 3 sciences I wanted to do. So another fun fact about me is the fact that I moved out home at 15. I left my mum and my stepdad, and I came back to England, and I lived with my step-grandparents, who I hadn't spoken to for some years at that point in time, because I really wanted to study science. So I could go to university and study science, which I duly did. And this is a picture of me graduating at 21, a little bit more stylish, but not very much. That's me in the green dress on your left. 21, I finished a master's at Nottingham University in human genetics, so I did it, I studied science. And obviously, as we all know, if you want to go get a professor's job, you don't just stop at the master's, you go on and do a PhD. At that point in my life, I had actually tried to apply to Oxbridge entirely on my own. I went to a really shitty college, sorry. And I just did the application myself, just because I was like, I don't know, why not? And I sent the application off, obviously got nowhere with it. But, and I'm so proud to this day of the fact that I managed to apply to Oxford, and this is me matriculating at Oxford University, thank you very much. Looking extremely stressed. And I'd like to say that's because I was just about to have my matriculation where I was going to be told in Latin, like, you must work very hard, you study very hard, this is a great responsibility. The actual reason why I'm stressed is, those of you in the audience know, that's my mum yelling at a bunch of other students. I'm actually like dying on the inside. Anyway, on the topic of dying a little bit on the inside, I then did a PhD, it took me 4 years. And I think this summarizes the sort of progression across the 4 years of insanity that happened quite nicely. Part of the reason why I have this montage is mostly just because I often get asked, like, how many hours a day did you used to work in doing PhD? And you're like 10 to 12 hours, 5 to 6 days a week. It's okay. And people look at you like stressing, like, no, I had fun. I dressed up 1 day a week for Halloween, 1 day a year, probably. Yeah, so I did my PhD, and this is me looking very respectable on the day of my Viva a couple of years ago. And obviously my prizes for seeing this picture of 100% maximum happiness in my range of emotion. I passed, obviously. And so now I'm here at the Crick, I'm a postdoc. I'm really blessed. I had a pretty rough ride at certain points in time. And it's really interesting whenever I present this sort of thing because I never really thought about the journey that I'd been through. I just sort of was getting on with it when I was doing it. And it's only really when you present it like this that it kind of sounds weird that you're like, yeah, so, political refugee, really, I went to 15 schools. As a fun fact, I moved every year of my life. So that picture, that's a lot of happiness right there. But a lot of things changed between that moment when I was 8 and that moment there when I was, how old was I? 27, something? Like a lot of things happened. Apparently I lost my memory. And one of the things I discovered about myself, having spent 4 years in Oxford, was that there are a lot of queer spaces. And maybe having spent most of my life thinking, I'm straight, maybe it wasn't quite as simple as that. And the most amazing thing I think about Oxford, and I don't know how anyone else's journeys have ever been, but I never really thought about anything like that at all, and I just was getting on with my life. And I found myself in certain spaces, and I try and ride the waves when they come. So if I feel an emotion, I think, okay, well there we go, there it is, no judgment from me. So this is kind of my official coming out. That's me saying, hi, I'm Güneş Taylor, and I'm queer. Now on to my 2 favourite organs. I just thought I'd start with the business end of things. I mean, we're all here for 2 things exactly. But specifically within this setup, and it is quite a complicated setup, I study the formation of testes and ovaries. Genuinely, that is actually what I study here. And also in my private life. So how do you even start studying a question like that? So I wasn't really sure what kind of audience I was going to have, and some of you, I realise, are different kinds of scientists, so I'm really sorry for any of you who find this part a little bit boring, but I just thought I'd go back to like Biology 101 really briefly so that everyone was like up to speed. And also, I love showing these pictures. Okay, so where do you begin? I'm one of those people, probably a little bit like my mother, like every story starts with, there was the Big Bang. And then particles, okay. Well, there was fertilization. And the sperm and the egg met. So, obviously, this is not entirely facetious. The point of this moment is, this is the moment when effectively the 2 halves of your genome come together, okay? And what that actually means, or how I think about that, is in the deep dark heart of the fertilized egg that you once were in your life is your genome, or the instruction manual to build you. This is how I think about genomes, genuinely, okay? So your genome is a molecule, technically it's a DNA molecule, but it functions like a really, really detailed instruction manual. And what happens is, maybe one cell new is reading the instruction manual, and it's like, okay, what am I doing? It's like build your own adventure story, okay? It says divide, so it divides, and then it says divide some more, so it keeps dividing. And at some point, you realize that some of the cells are kind of arranged a bit differently. And a bit like a build your own adventure story, what happens then is that the cell there, it's kind of hemmed in, right? It's kind of surrounded by the cells. So it's reading a different part of the instruction manual, like, what do I do when I'm stuck in a tube? And this one down there has got a bit more space, so it's reading a different part of the instruction manual. This is how I think about genomes. So what that actually means is that these cells are transcribing different genes. That's the word for what's happening here. And what that means is they're reading different parts of the instruction manual, they're building different molecular tools, and that literally means they're making different proteins. Having different proteins means you do different things. So that cell there is going to behave differently to the one at the bottom because it's making different proteins because it's expressing different genes. Okay? Just to prove that I'm not just talking utter shit. This is a figure from one of my colleagues' papers, and this is actually a human embryo, which is why I show it, because I want you guys to believe. So this shows a human embryo at day 5 to 6 of development. The blue just marks nuclei, so that's like the center of the cell where the genomes are, where the DNA is. GATA 6, OCT4, they're both different genes that are expressed by different cells, and I hope you can see that because, for example, the green signal that you can see is expressed in the cells on the outside, whereas the OCT4, for example, is only just sort of in the middle. So that's just to prove that cells in different parts of embryos express different things. Okay, how does that relate to what I was telling you? Well, this cell, at this point in development, so early embryonic development, this embryo is thinking, like, what's going on? Like, where's my left, where's my right? These are simple decisions that need to be made initially, because that kind of makes sense, right? If you're building something from one cell, you need to make basic decisions first. But a little bit later on, it's looking a bit more like this. A few weeks have passed, basic decisions have been made, and then this guy, girl, nobody knows, is thinking, do I build an ovary or do I build a testis? And so we know certain things about these kinds of decisions. So how do you end up with ovaries or testes? Well, everybody starts off with something called a bipotential gonadal ridge, which does what it says on the tin and is always a bit of a mouthful. So what that literally means is everyone ends up with kind of like a rough gonad, like it's going to be a gonad one way or another. And then what actually happens is a series of interesting molecular events happen, and you end up with structures that look very different from each other. Even though they're both kind of spherical, we kind of know that, but if you think about it, we know that they're very different things, right? Testes, all tubes. Make sperm, get sperm out. That's the plan. Ovaries, on the other hand, are completely different spaces. So even though they start off as the same sort of structure, they actually have very, very different functions in the end, and they create completely different environments. And obviously it goes without saying, we know certain things about this stuff. So for example, we know that males obviously have a special chromosome called a Y chromosome, like genuinely special, not like special. And females have 2 X chromosomes. So this is a mechanism that is effectively determined at the beginning. So when the egg and the sperm come together, if the sperm carries an X chromosome or if the sperm carries a Y chromosome, that kind of lays that foundation at the start. But it doesn't really start enacting until much later on in time, okay? But it's never as simple as just, okay, here you go, here's an extra chromosome, off you go. There's a lot of events that are involved in that. So that's where my work comes in. Just to head you off a little bit on the past, why do people care about this stuff, not just like for interest? There are disorders of sex development. So here's a fun thing to think about, and lots of fun. Most people, when they have a baby, everyone's like, oh, is it a boy or girl? Right, first question, is it a boy or girl? Sometimes it's not really clear whether it's a boy or a girl, genuinely. So there's all kinds of disorders there. Apart from that, infertility. If something goes wrong during your development, you might not be fertile in later life. Cancers. If you understand how an organ is built in the first place, you're more likely to actually be able to understand what's possibly going wrong with it later on in life, right? So that's why people like me study how these organs are formed in the first place. So specifically, in my project, I'm studying how ovaries are formed. And I'm not going to sugarcoat this. This is the name of the gene that I'm interested in. It's called FOXL2. You guys are all smart people. You remember this. And something that I always like to say at the beginning, even though this is not directly related to what I'm, like, it's not immediately what I'm doing because I'm not using human material, is that there is a syndrome called BPES syndrome. And these patients are actually characterized by premature ovarian failure or premature ovarian insufficiency, which means that they actually tend to get their menopause like late 20s, early 30s. It's pretty grim, okay? Considering you're meant to have your menopause like in your 50s. And interestingly enough, they tend to also have droopy eyelids, which is kind of cool. Because these patients tend to have mutations or errors in their FOXL2 gene. That tells me that this gene is probably involved in ovaries and also eyelids, weirdly. So I wanted to just show you guys a little bit of background science that we know about this gene, just to prove that there's a reason for looking into it, not just that some patients have actual mutations in this gene. So this is all stuff that was done in mouse by a different research group, but I found it really eye-opening when I got told it, and it's basically one of the main reasons why I took the job when my boss was like, so, have you heard about this? FOXL2, we know that. We know it's important for ovaries. There's another gene called DMRT1 that other people have shown also is very important for testis development. So how do you do that? Well, if you think a gene is really important, what we like to do is take it out, right? It's like if aliens came from outer space and were like, Wi-Fi, what is this thing? Does it matter? And then took the Wi-Fi away. We don't care about that, right? So, this is how I think about things generally. So, if you get rid of DMRT1, this gene that I'm telling you is important for testis formation, how do we know that? Well, because if you take it away, actually what happens is the testis transdifferentiates. And I've left it ambiguous looking, just for the sake of the diagram, but actually it ends up looking remarkably like an ovary. Okay, so this is done in adult mice. The same is also true for FOXL2. So if you remove this gene from an adult female ovary, that gonad transdifferentiates also to something that looks remarkably like a testis. I do not use mice, I use chickens, and specifically chicken eggs. So this is just my little chip on my shoulder. This is me proving to you that actually chickens are a very valid model organism, that a lot of people have used them for many years. In fact, Aristotle in the 6th century BC was the first to look at embryonic development using chicken eggs. And I would like to highlight just 3 little fun facts and things that we know in science based on work using chickens. This is mostly because all the mice people like who studies chickens anyway. And so, guess what? We learned about T and B lymphocytes in the 1960s from studying chickens back in 1628. Apparently, we learned about the function of arteries and veins, etc., using chickens. So, chicken is not a model organism that you'll hear a lot about, but actually it's pretty valuable, I'd like to say. This is my picture to show you guys what an actual fertilized and incubated chicken egg looks like at like 3 days of development. If you ever crack an egg and a piece of crap falls out of it and you're like, yeah, that's the embryo. It's not the embryo, okay? If you crack an egg and that comes out of it, you need to have your fridge seen to because it should what you can kind of hopefully see is like a weird sausagey shape in the middle of that very obvious blood system. The top is the head end, the bottom is the tail end. That's what it looks like. And this is my fun fact for you guys. So I literally did not know this until I started this postdoc here 2 years ago, but every single chicken egg that you or I have ever eaten in our lives has exclusively come from the left-hand ovary of a chicken, because chicken embryos eventually, even though they start off with this bipotential like 2 gonad structure situation going on, over the course of development, you can see that the female one on the other side, on the left, it only grows an ovary on the left, and the right-hand one just eventually disappears entirely. And this is not just the quirk of chickens, actually quite a lot of birds have this really weird evolutionary, I'm going to say advantage, I don't know. And just to prove that this is the case, and it's not just a schematic that I've drawn for you, here are some beautiful images I took with my iPhone. Just to prove, though, that that is actually the case. So you can see that gigantic white blob, hopefully on the right-hand side of the image at the top. That is eventually going to just become the singular, or would have become, I should say, the singular ovary of that chicken embryo, had I not called it very ethically. So that's that. Also, I showed you guys this schematic earlier. This is actually one I generated from images of a human embryo at several weeks of development. And this is a chicken embryo at I'm going to say about 10 days of development, maybe a bit less, 9, 10 days. Again, beautiful iPhone imagery. And so I kind of hope you can see that this is quite similar. And again, this is me just continuing on the fact that chickens are a really good model organism for this kind of thing. But apart from the fact that the eyes are humongous, they've got all the same organs, and in fact, a lot of vertebrates all kind of look about the same at that point in time. The difference is, of course, mice people care about them, chickens, no one gives a damn. So you can do a lot of experiments and you can get a lot of them on the cheap. Which is great, basically, for people like me. So, on that note, I have rattled through this. I have no idea how long I've been talking for, but I would like to say, in summary, I'm investigating the role of FOXL2 in ovarian development. And, therefore, by extension, wider mechanisms of sex determination. And I modelled this using chicken embryos. And I actually believe